Hey everyone, if you remember this beaver swamp here we drained it at least 4 feet. The culvert down here had debris and the water was all the way up to just about the top of this culvert. Now there's barely any flow because it's being held up by a beaver dam on the other side of the road, which is actually a good thing because I think it may stop the beavers from building there again. Maybe they'll build it down there and then storm surge might be able to still get through. But I just put on a bunch of bug spray. The first time I've had to do it really all year because we haven't had mosquitoes. It's been a dry summer. But it finally started raining. You see they're everywhere. They were attacking me like crazy. They're still trying to land on me, but I have bug spray everywhere where I'm exposed. So we just got the big high boots back on. Now we're going to take a little trip around the beaver swamp. Oh my gosh, there's so many mosquitoes swarming me. Some of these mosquitoes just don't care. They're landing right on the bug spray. But we're going to see what's in this beaver swamp. Right here was all underwater just a few days ago. Look at all this material they had prepared. They cut it down but haven't moved it yet. They were planning a much bigger swamp. See, the water line was there, almost flooding the road there. It was flooding in one spot, with evidence during big storms it floods in a lot more. There's a big frog. So this looks like the boundary here. It may have been going down that drainage ditch. But we're off right now to see, where's the beaver lodge? Is this possibly a secondary pond? This whole place is extremely disgusting. You see how the plants have been underwater for probably a month or whatever. They're all dying, rotting, very stinky oils there. When I was unclogging the culvert, the current I created dragged over so much moose poop, which I think is why it smells so bad here. Just walking in the swamp for a while will give you a headache. I believe it's producing a insane amount of obnoxious gases. I had to take a big bath the other day, so I'm going to try not to fall in this again. Where I am right now, I would have been up to my chest. Yep, look at the wall of debris in the secondary culvert that we didn't unclog because of all the excavator damage. You see right here, the water line is very well reflected on the dead plants. There's always been a tiny beaver pond here in all years past, but this year they finally decided to flood the road, which is going to end up leading to them being trapped if some of them haven't already been trapped. Because when we unclogged this thing partially a few weeks ago, they had it completely jammed just overnight. But now this has been a few days and they haven't really built back much. I feel like there's less beavers here. Where I'm walking was all underwater. It's still a little squishy. This right here, by the evidence, was floating. Lots of angry mosquitoes out here. And here's some trickling water. So the beaver lodge could technically be hiding. It could be any of these lumps. Actually, no, it wouldn't because this was flooded. That might be a beaver lodge there, an old one with those trees growing out of it. So this water wouldn't have been trickling a few days ago. This whole place was flooded. Let's get down into that trickling water. The water's not as stinky here. It seems to have cleaned itself a little. Ooh, there's a lot of frogs. So we're following this stream. Hopefully we don't run into a very angry beaver. Looking around for a beaver lodge. Wow, it was flooded this far back. We're now a few hundred feet away from the road. It's getting very muddy here. Lots and lots of silt. Looking for a good passage. Oh, they have a secondary pond. That's probably why they weren't so eager to go down there. See that dam? I can tell they just threw this together because before that massive draining, this all would have been still even with that pond. See how everything has a water line on it and is dying from drowning? So here's a partial beaver dam. Looks like they just threw it together. Losing my balance a little. I know it is probably unlikely we will find a beaver lodge. It's such a big place. And it's not necessarily against the stream, although it probably is, because this is their easiest access. Yep, this area was all still flooded. Yep, this place was huge. It just keeps going as far as the eye can see how much they flooded. This was definitely probably many millions of gallons of water. That's why it took 4 days to get this thing completely drained. See a lot of moose tracks here, which explains the stinkiness. Rotting out all the poops. This area was still flooded by everything, but it was only flooded about a foot. That's why all the trees are dead here. They drowned over the summer. Big spider web. Just gotta disconnect it. Still a bit stinky and slippery. Yeah, this was all flooded too. And this area is flat. This went on. It just went on and on. Very deep there in that hole. Definitely the biggest swamp we've ever drained. Wow, this area still has a good amount of water sitting here. It's a good thing because it's not affecting the road. If they could just leave it this way, they'd be fine. These mosquitoes really do not care about bug spray. They're still going crazy for me. Landing right on it, trying to catch up lost time for the dry summer. I'm gonna call it a day. Can't really maneuver out here much better. I think it's really cool how these spider webs are all covered in morning dew sitting inside that bush.